Welcome to the bold analysis. Several Mount Kenya leaders and others from other regions have been streaming in Rigathi Gachagwa's Wamunyororo residence in Nyeri day and night to join the newly formed Sauti ya Mwananchi movement. The connotation of that coalition, or rather of that outfit as Sauti ya Mwananchi, conforms with the clarion call from the Kenyan public that they need a voice, they need a man, they need a king who can come out and face Ruto head on and say, this is wrong. The paradigm shift of what happened in Kenya Kwanza is one that happened too fast. It is a bit ironical that the fellows that were actually posturing before Kenyans under the guise of hustlers, posturing as hustlers, are out vomiting unprintable words, attack, insult, abuses, and abductions. So that shift needed someone to come in the gap. As Kenya Kwanza heads to halftime, positioning is key on the side of politicians because of the changing dynamics. Apart from the track record that a leader you can have, but you sometimes also need to sit politically right with the tide. There is no denial that Mount Kenya is undergoing a transition, and Ruto transition is actually going on. Kimani Wamatangi today was in Dumberi for some development project, and for the first time he spoke about the current situation in Mount Kenya. And in this video he seems to having a direct attack on Ichung'wah, looking at how things are turning out. In this video, Ichung'wah is having a very Wamatangi is having a very serious debate that I think everyone from the Kikuyu, from the Gema, must truly understand.
Wĩrire atĩrĩrĩ na haha nĩho ndĩrathiĩ ngĩraga andũ aitũ tondũ ũmũthĩ ndirenda kwaria mũno maũndũ marĩa mothe ndĩmwĩraga tuoka haha hatirĩ handũ niĩ ngarũrũkĩte ndĩramwĩrire niĩ wĩra ũyũ wa gavana reke ndĩmwĩra andũ aitũ a Ndumberi ũyũ nĩ wĩra wa mũndũ ũrahũthĩra haha ũrorete thutha na ũkarora kabere kũrĩa ũratwara andũ aku kana tiguo andũ aitũ aingĩ tũrathiĩ njĩra ndacemania na andũ a gũkũ makanjũria atĩ we gavana rĩrĩa twagũtuĩte senator wathiaga senator kũrĩa nĩtuonaga wĩ TV-inĩ gwa Citizen rĩngĩ wĩ gũkũ ũgĩtetera andũ ũkĩaria kaĩ ũkirĩtio nĩkĩ thaa ici Orengo aikaraga haha twang'ethanage nake mwena ũrĩa mũndũ ũrĩa wĩtagwo Boni Halwale bullfighter ndaikaraga haha nake twang'ethanagĩre mwena ũrĩa ũngĩ Amos Wako ũrĩa warĩ attorney general ndĩ haha aikaraga mwena ũrĩa andũ acio othe ĩno thirikari na iria ciĩtũkĩte na nginya arĩa mĩitĩ nene hatirĩ mũndũ tũtarutĩte wĩra nake na niĩ nĩ njũĩ ũrĩa andũ acio mahang'agĩra andũ akwao na nĩ njũĩ ũgĩ wao na wara wao rĩu ihinda rĩrĩ campaign matironanaga rũheni na Wetangula maratũraga mbara thirikari aikarĩra gĩtĩ andũ magĩa ndũgũ manyita na moko ũyũ nĩ atuĩka minister nĩ atuĩka prime minister ũyũ ũngĩ nĩ atuĩka speaker gwakirwo kwao gwakirwo ki gũtirario Joho aratũraga mbara na mũndũ wĩtagwo mũtumia ũrĩa wa kũrĩa Kilifi githĩ mũtimũĩ Ichung'wah waikio kũ nyũgũkũ rĩ nĩ nyũgũkũ no twa nĩ Wamatangi kũ ũrĩa nĩ thirikari nĩ ithuĩ twamĩheire wĩra kana tu twamĩheire wĩra na tareke ndĩmwĩre ka mũthia na mũnjĩre kana tũkũiguithania ndĩroigire atĩrĩrĩ ithuĩ tũtigũtuĩka ta andũ matũraga na haha rũgũrũ rũrĩ haha na ndikũmagweta makoragwo mahuana mbathi
He's arguing that when other regions, and that's why you've heard of him speaking about Bullfighter and Amos Wako, when other regions were outside government, they were not speaking the same voice. In fact, they were enemies when they were out of government. But immediately they were absorbed in that broad-based administration, they went to government and kept quiet and are peacefully working together. Now, when he's talking there, that's what he's also referring to, the coastal region. That Hassan Joho and Amason Kingi, when Amason Kingi was a speaker and Hassan Joho was outside, they were fighting, or rather they were enemies, and they were speaking from different sides of the mouth. But when Joho was appointed as the CS, Joho is currently working closely with these people. And he's also saying about, if you look at other regions, the elected leaders from the county government to the national government are working together. But what happened in Mount Kenya, or rather what is happening in Mount Kenya, is something that should sadden them. Because that should really make them sad. Because when they are in government, and they were brought in government, instead of working, they chose to fight each other, chasing other people out of that government, and celebrating when others are being sent out of government. And he says that the unity that other regions are showing, and it's very comfortable, but hapa Mulima, people are just fighting. In a direct swipe at Kimani Ichung'wah. The person that has chased Mount Kenya from President Ruto's government is Kimani Ichung'wah. If you want to know things are thick, I want you to look at this video.
Lazima tuchome. Lazima tuchome.
Unachoma kwa nini?
Lazima tuchome.
Unachoma kwa nini?
Bila mtu masko. Hii chama ndio ilitudanganya. Bila mtu alitukon kupitia chama cha UDA. Na leo tumeamua harusi ya kisiasa kati ya UDA na Gama imefika mwisho. When a political marriage between UDA and Gama, leo ndio imefika mwisho. Leo ndio imefika mwisho. Imefika mwisho. UDA imekwisha Gama. UDA imekwisha. UDA imekwisha. UDA imekwisha.
These guys are saying our political marriage with William Ruto is dead. We no longer have a political relationship with William Ruto. That is a very clear message that is sending, that, or rather through that video, is sending to the UDA team. Is the person that led the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, marshaled the numbers as the leader of the majority, and did everything. And when even an allocation for some land for road was done, Kimani Ichung'wah allocated more in his constituency. And recently, to add more salt into the injury, he was also leading another plan to kick out Ndindi Nyoro from the powerful Budget and Appropriation Committee. With the approach, or rather with the ugly language and the combative language in the campaign trail when standing next to the president, Kimani Ichung'wah continues to anger and annoy the Mount Kenya citizens. So, ladies and gentlemen, Wamatangi is clearly making a statement of working with the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. To me, this does not come as a shocker. First, I want to show you something. Wamatangi also facing threat from two camps. And that is why this decision to me is a decision you can arrive at. Wamatangi knows very well that Wamuchomba and Karumo Dhangwa, who are the key vocal people in Kiambu on representative Sauti ya Mwananchi, can actually make a formidable force that will give him a run for his money. So that is one of the threat that is there. And so that is why he's chosen to join that camp. Away from it, William Ruto picked Kabogo and gave Kabogo a cabinet slot, a lifeline in his ending career, on his dying career. Kabogo is going to team up with Moses Kuria, who is also an advisor in the office of the president. And in 2027, that is the camp that Ruto is going to use to lobby for the Kiambu vote. So you cannot play neutral in politics. There are two camps emerging. You are either with Rigathi or against Rigathi. That camp is emerging. And that forms the opinion why Wamatangi would choose to identify himself with Rigathi Gachagwa's camp. Do you know that since 2022, do you know that UDA is yet to call a parliamentary group meeting? You know why? They have failed to call any parliamentary group meeting. Like, for example, the parliament was on recess, so parliament is supposed to resume, and a PG was expected, as has been the custom. The UDA cannot call PG because of the breakaway camp. The team with Rigathi might not even attend, or rather will get more visibility in any case they fail to attend that PG. And the president also understands that there is a silent majority of MPs that are thinking of shifting their political camps, and that group is one that you cannot really underscore. And if I want to tell you that Sauti ya Mwananchi, much as we would want to say it is ingrained in Mount Kenya, this is Ngoyoyo. Those are somewhere in Kajiado. And he was actually talking to some people, residents there, and the residents were saying, asilete Ruto, alete Rigathi.
Hapana, wacheni hiyo. Ati amutaki Ruto akuje? Asikuje kwale? Amutaki Ruto? Amutaki Ruto? Nilete Gachagua? Wangapi wanasema nilete Gachagua? Ngojeni kidogo. Hiyo kura itapigwa vizuri. Wangapi wanasema nilete Ruto? Hebu wainue mkono tu. Ati amutaki? Hebu fanya hivi kama hutaki. Amutaki kabisa? Wangapi wanasema nilete Gachagua area? Haki ya Mungu, Mwenyezi Mungu abariki, asanteni sana.
So that he is a representative of that team from Kajiado West, is Kajiado West member of parliament. I understand Kajiado West, there is also quite a number of Kikuyu community in that area. So that wave of Sauti ya Mwananchi is coming up. And with the flip-flopping going on, you cannot underestimate what they do. Now, Wamatangi is not new. Such a move will not be a breaking news. Why? Unlike other leaders that were flip-flopping and that were really intimidated into submission, Wamatangi fell out with William Ruto way ago in 2022. And this was about the affordable housing scheme. There was some land that Del Monte had shelved for the county, and the national government was actually demanding that county surrenders that land and that title, the title of that land, so that it can be used for affordable housing. And Wamatangi insisted that the land belongs to Kiambu County and it must benefit the residents of Kiambu County. So even if there is an investor, that investor must be from Kiambu County. And he said that he was not going to give free land to President Ruto so that the president will give it to his friends to build the affordable housing units, and Kiambu would not stand to gain anything. That was the time there was that fallout between Wamatangi and President Ruto. And since then, the president has been making foreign trips. The president has been making campaign rallies. You will not see, and there was since 2022, and since that fallout, there have never been any moment where Wamatangi is sharing a platform with the President Ruto. You can check around. You can Google and look for the photos. You will not see. Rarely will you find a photo of Wamatangi and Ruto, even the whole of 2024. It was not there. And to want to know that it was not actually a pushover, there was an attempt to lobby the MCS of Kiambu to impeach Wamatangi, and that impeachment fell flat. This comes hot in the heels of politics of betrayal. The country, I saw this video of fellows in Jivanji saying, if he betrayed Mulima, what about the guys from the lake?
Najua sera imepanda bunge power. Sasa tutatuliza hiyo sera na kura ya 2027 bunge power. Hawa wakora wenye wametunyanyasa, wenye wameteka mavijana wetu, tutawatoa 2027. Mpende msipende, mpende msipende, tunatoa hii serikali ile nyumbani. Bunge power, bunge power. Hii serikali ilipewa kura milioni 6 na sijui milioni 8. Hawa wale wenye walipea hii serikali kura wamerukwa. Ruto ameruka watu wa Central. Kuna wale wa jamaa kutoka pale kwa maji, sitaki kutaja majina, wamekaribishwa kwa hii serikali chafu. Bunge power, bunge power. Sasa je, mimi niko na swali moja, kama wale wa Central ndo walirukwa, je, wale wa maji watafanyiwa nini? Wale wa maji watafanyiwa nini?
Now, in the same Nyeri residence, Rigathi Gachagua received Vincent Munyaka. Vincent Munyaka vied for Machakos Town MP under the UDA party, but he was not able to reclaim the seat through UDA. And in 2024, the president even gave him some appointment. He was appointed in some state corporation. He even rejected that offer. And you can see him here. He also joined that Sauti ya Mwananchi camp after visiting Rigathi in that residence. Of course, this comes after over 50 elected and currently serving and former MPs met Rigathi Gachagua on Friday in part of lobbying to strengthen the outfit. The big question here is this: why is that Rigathi's Sauti ya Mwananchi movement thriving faster in Mount Kenya? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. We are heading to 100,000 subscribers. So imagine we're just 2,900 shy of that target. So subscription is absolutely free. There is nothing that is going to be deducted in your account when you subscribe. So make sure you subscribe. There is something happening here. Sauti ya Mwananchi is a coalition that it speaks to what, of course, there is, Mwananchi wants someone to speak on their behalf. Now, one thing happened is that movement bridges a leadership vacuum in Mount Kenya. I've looked around and I've realized Uhuru Kenyatta is not interested, is no longer interested in who is going to be voted where. but is sitting there as a man available for counsel when asked to do so. After that 2022 general election, things were not going on well. The people said we don't want Adani, it was being forced down on people's throat. People said don't want GMO, it was forced on people. People said the taxes are high, the finance bill was being pushed. And the young people rose, the Gen Z. They emerged and they spoke to power that enough is enough. But after that, when the president realized that he was actually at the brink of losing it, he absorbed the opposition politicians in government. And the opposition politicians turned to be the choir master of praising the president even when things were outrightly wrong. There was a vacuum. And the vacuum was, no one was speaking for Mwananchi. So when Rigathi was unceremoniously kicked out of government, he took over that position. And that is why Sauti ya Mwananchi, that is the vacuum Sauti ya Mwananchi is actually feeling. Actually, it's not the kingpin. You need to ask yourself, these leaders are not, Rigathi knows very well he might not be, if things, as things stand now, he cannot win the ballot because of an impeachment. But they are coalescing around him. Number two, Ruto freezed out of Mount Kenya. Chickened out of Mount Kenya, that's the biased word. And the moment he chickened out of Mount Kenya, government has zero visibility. In fact, there's something that Rigathi used to bring on table. I want to say it. Even when there's nothing good happening in Mount Kenya, but he would actually speak to things on Mount Kenya. At one point we'll listen to coffee fund, cherry fund, fertilizer, he will actually speak to the milk, minimum return for the milk and this and that. Nowadays, no one is talking about Mount Kenya issues. No one is talking about them. People became nationalists. I've seen Kindiki launching projects. I'm not yet to see even Kindiki going to launch one in Mount Kenya. I'm wondering. It's because I really want, when he was in Embu, people are talking about some dangling carrots. The issue of I'll do roads, I do hospital, I don't do what. Those things are dangling carrots. No, those things, those things have been said, bana. Talk about coffee fund. Talk about coffee fund. People will listen. So that has really made them lose it. Now, I think UDA and Jubilee decline has also offered a lifeline for this team. Jubilee, after that beating Uhuru Kenyatta, and then Uhuru Kenyatta went and picked some fellows from Jubilee Party. Not Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto picked some people from Jubilee Party. My position was that all that was stage managed so that the narrative would fit. But again, it weakened Jubilee to some extent. It weakened Jubilee. And that's why now people feel, oh, there is no one who is talking on our behalf. Ruto regime flop is providing fodder for Rigathi. Yes. These people, look at, I agree, someone said that Ruto does not need a strong candidate. He just needs to give microphone to Farah Maalim. Then Farah Maalim will pour all the votes down. Then after Farah Maalim, he goes somewhere else and then gives another microphone to Sudi. Then all the others are down. Then again goes to Mount Kenya and give another microphone to Ichung'wah. So, like what Farah Maalim said at the time the president was lecturing parents to impact good morals on their children, those are some of the things that is providing fodder. And I can tell you Sunday, tomorrow, there will be church service. And I can tell you Farah Maalim is really going to find it rough, because he's providing something for these people to talk about. The people strengthening that Sauti ya Mwananchi is actually the state. Thank you.